If you do not want to lose in a relationship, you need to break free of these three emotions that keep women captive. And that is fear, shame, and guilt. Hello ladies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ayanime, and today's video we are talking about dark feminine traits or even masculine traits you need to have to ensure you never lose in a relationship. Yes, it is possible for you to lose in a relationship because a relationship is supposed to be beneficial to the people in it. So if one person is getting what they want while the other person is not, then that means that that person is losing. And there are certain traits you need to have that will stop this from happening. Now, before I get into the first trait you need, I have to say this. I know that this video is going to trigger some people, and the people this video is going to trigger are mostly the men, because somehow, somewhere, they always find themselves onto this channel. And if you are here, you're triggered, leave a comment, okay? If you're not triggered, leave a comment, support the channel, okay? All right, the first trait that you need to ensure you never lose in a relationship is that you have to master the art of self-preservation. Listen, from a very tender age, most men are taught self-preservation, even at the expense of others, while us women, we are taught selflessness, even to our own detriment. A woman can be going through hell in the hands of a man, and if you dare try to say anything bad about that man, she will literally become a mama bear. Like, why would you say that about my husband? Why would you say that about my boyfriend? But it's clear to everybody that you're going through it. That's selflessness. That need to protect, to guard a man, even when he is being horrible to you. This is a trait that has killed a lot of women, that has wrecked a lot of women, and this is a trait that you need to do away with. And I'm not saying you should become completely selfish and self-centered. No, you have to learn how to choose yourself. You have to learn how to protect yourself, to preserve yourself, the same way men do. One thing I've come to understand is that oftentimes when a woman is protecting a man, fiercely protecting a man who is horrible to her, it comes from a place of fear where they cannot come to terms with this side of them, the weak side. That side that has become a doormat, that side that is broken, that side that the essence is dying or is even dead. They cannot afford to come to terms with that. So they would rather be in denial and protect the man. Ladies, I must tell you, it doesn't serve you at all. One generation that I see this happen so much is our mother's generation. They are or were so selfless towards their husbands that you can see the damage that it is doing to them. And the funny thing is, there is really nothing you can do, because you can talk from now till tomorrow and it's not going to change anything. I'm going to share a story with you. It's one of those stories that when you hear, you sort of lose a couple of brain cells, especially if you are a self-aware, wholesome woman. And this story was shared on a blog where a woman wrote to the blog and shared the story that my husband is HIV positive, I want to leave, the family are unapologetic, they don't even care, they're telling me to go, that he will not die, another woman will marry him, I am depressed, I am sad, what do I do? This woman came on board and said, I traveled abroad, came back to a man who is infected with HIV, and when I confronted him, this is what he said to me. He said, when you left me in Nigeria, what did you expect? I'm still here, so you too endure. Let's flip the table. Would a man do that? Would a man do that? No. He will not stay in that marriage. Not happening. Self-preservation. Self-preservation. They've mastered it. So you as a woman, if you know that you do not want to lose in a relationship, you also need to learn how to preserve yourself. When the chips are down and it comes down to the choice of you or him, you choose you. The second dark feminine trait or masculine trait you need to have is to master the art of saying what you want. Enough with you keeping silent and enduring and being patient and being understanding while the man is doing whatever it is he wants to do. I have never seen a man stutter when he's telling a woman what he wants from her. I have never. Even if he is shy, he will find a way to tell you what he wants from you. You will tell this person is shy, but guess what? In that shyness, he's telling you what he wants. Be it good, be it bad, be it ridiculous, the fact is he has told you. So you also need to learn the same thing. One of the things that stop women from saying what they want is the fear that he's going to judge you, he's going to think you are this way. What if I ask him for this thing? He will think I am materialistic. So what? Who isn't materialistic? Or maybe he will say no. That fear, oh my goodness, he's going to say no. So what if he says no? You need to get comfortable with the possibility of him saying no. You will not always get a yes. That is not possible. I am not saying be forceful or entitled as you are communicating what you want. No. Be feminine, be sweet, be soft. But in that femininity and softness and sweetness, you tell him what you want. Don't desire A, but then because you're scared, you tell him you want B. Let it be that you said and he could not do it, and for it to be that you never said anything at all. Ladies, a closed mouth is a closed destiny, okay? So he tells you he wants you to come over to his place, and that's not what you want. You say, oh no, I don't want to come to your place. I'd rather have dinner at a restaurant. If he asks you what you want for your birthday, instead of saying something like, anything you give me, I'll take, be specific. Oh, I'd like some good jewelry for my birthday. Or maybe he tells you that he wants a friends with benefits sort of arrangement and you don't want that. You don't have to fight him or get irritated. Just say, no, we're not doing that. That's not what I want. I want a man who is going to be committed to me, a protector and a provider. And it's obvious you're not that. So it was nice getting to know you, but that's not what I want. That has to come from a deep place of you're comfortable saying what you want and being comfortable with the fact that not everybody will give you what you want. Be vocal about what you want. I cannot say this enough. This is something I struggled with for a very long time and I am still struggling with to some extent, because sometimes when that fear kicks in, I have to remind myself, no, I need to say what you want. And I'm telling you now, to not shy away from fear of rejection. And even if he tells you no, guess what? You will be fine. And the best part about this is that you will feel empowered and glad you faced your fears. And depending on what you asked for and what his response is, you will know who you're dealing with. Don't allow the fear of him saying no stop you from asking in the first place. Men are always vocal about what they want. Men will forever remain vocal about what they want. So women have to join the trade, okay? Okay. Now the next trait that is going to help you not lose in a relationship is for you to build emotional strength. Ladies, let me tell you this. We are not men. We are not even built like them. Don't allow the feminist movement make you feel that you are a man all of a sudden, because you're not. I am saying that to say this. Sometimes women approach relationships the way a man would. And when they do that, they end up losing. One of the most powerful weapons a woman can have or a woman can build is for her to have emotional strength. That is the one thing that I know levels the playing field for you as a woman. One of the mistakes women make regarding this is that they think money gives emotional strength. You will hear somebody say something like, oh, she's in that terrible relationship because there is no money. That's why she's there, she's stuck, there's no other place to go to. But then guess what? There are women with money and they are still being treated horribly by men. So money doesn't build emotional strength. I'm going to share with you what builds emotional strength. But before I do that, I'm going to share a story that I heard. I can make tons of stories for you in this video because you need to learn the dynamic of these things through stories. And this was one that my friend shared with me. So she follows this blog where women send in their relationship and marriage problems. And this woman sent in her own problems. She said, I am a medical doctor in the US and I and my husband, we have 3 baby mamas. First of all, once you hear that statement, it's like, come again? And then she continues, I have not been able to conceive and my husband has impregnated 3 different women and he's bringing them for us to take care of. I don't want to divorce him because we are the pillar of the society and we have the younger generation looking up to us. Please, In what way does what I just shared with you make sense? So let's look at it. First, she's a medical doctor. She has money. She can leave that man if she wants to, can't she? Why hasn't she left the man? Money doesn't build emotional strength. Not at all. There are women with money, like I said, being treated horribly, going through hell. And I'll tell you what builds emotional strength. What builds emotional strength is not running away from pain. We are so scared of facing pain. I know it's an evolutionary factor. I get that. Because there's nobody that will see something that will hurt them and they run towards it. Instead, you're running in the opposite direction. I get that. But guess what? That is the only way you build emotional strength. You get comfortable with pain. The pain that comes from a divorce, from leaving a relationship, from walking away from a man that you've planned a life with. Get comfortable with that pain. Create coping mechanisms for that pain. And lean on your support system during that time. Because that is what helps build emotional strength. I used to be very emotionally weak. Oh my goodness. I would take anything, be in denial, try to make things work even at my own expense. Be too scared, to walk away. But now, no. I am so strong emotionally that I could meet a man, like him so much, want things to work so much, but find out there's a deal breaker in there, and I walk away. I'm now comfortable with that pain. That first week of pain, of missing him, of not being able to talk to him, of wishing you could fix things, wishing that he would be a better person, wishing that he did not have that deal breaker he has, all that pain, I've gotten comfortable with that, and you need to do it also, because if not, you will keep losing in a relationship, and that is how you will end up settling for what you're not supposed to settle for. Ladies, learn how to face pain and walk through that fire, because when you do, and you come out at the other end, you're going to open up a version of you with a deep capacity of strength that you never thought possible. Because guess what? In a couple of weeks, couple of months, depending on how deep your relationship has grown, you will be back to your normal self. So 1 month of you having to go through pain and a lifetime of pain, which one would you choose? Honestly. Another benefit to this is that your self-worth will skyrocket, and you will have clarity on what you want, what you don't want, what you can tolerate and what you cannot tolerate, and you will find it so easy walking away from any man or any relationship that does not serve you. It is not easy, but guess what? This too shall pass. It passes. I'm telling you, that pain, it passes. And then you become a version of you that you are proud of. Now, number 4, but before I get into number 4, is this video empowering you, changing your mindset? Let me know in the comment section, and take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't done this yet, quickly share it with somebody who you believe will benefit from this video. Now let's get into number 4, and that is for you to break free from these 3 emotions that keep women captive. And that is fear, shame, guilt. Say it again. If you do not want to lose in a relationship, you need to break free of fear, shame, and guilt. Society, men, and even some women have weaponized these 3 emotions and used it in manipulating and controlling and shaming women into staying in horrible situations. Like the story of the doctor. What is driving her there is fear. What is driving her there is shame, right? Those 2 emotions have essentially tied her and kept her in such a horrible situation, because the man could have suggested adoption, surrogacy. That could have happened, but no. He decided to shame her. He decided to humiliate her by proving to people, because I'm sure in the years they were trying to conceive, some people would think the problem is him, some people would think the problem is her, and in a bid to correct that impression, he had to impregnate 3 women to prove that point. And she's there saying she doesn't want to leave him because they are the pillar of the society. Let me tell you something. If you are able to break free of these 3 emotions, you will be unstoppable. You see, the fear of the future, the fear of being lonely or being alone, the fear that you will never meet another person, the fear that you will not survive without him, the fear that if you set standards and stand your ground, he will leave you, and any other fear you may think of, face them. Same goes for your shame and guilt. That shame of, if I leave this man, people will say I cannot keep a man. If I leave this marriage, people will say I've left my husband, I cannot keep a home. People will shame me. You see all of that emotion, face them. Another way I also see this play out is when a woman sets a high standard when it comes to the type of man she wants. She could say, oh, I want a man that is like this, I want a man that owns this or does this, right? And then immediately she says that you get a lot of people who are triggered and they try to shame her and guilt her into feeling like those standards should not be set at all. Which is ridiculous to me, because a woman has a right to set her standards. You may think it is unrealistic or too high, but guess what? It is her standards. And she's not forcing it on you. She's not telling you that for you to date her, you must pressure yourself and meet that standard. No, the message is simple. If you don't meet the standard I have set, do not bother, okay? I don't even want to be with you in the first place. The worst part about this standard thing is when a woman shames another woman for having high standards. When I see this happen, I always think to myself, you know, you can set your own standard, right? You can set it as low as possible for every Tom, Dick, and Harry to have access to you. You can do that, but don't hate on another woman for having high standards. And if you are jealous or something, raise your own standards so that you are not that woman who gets played even after lowering her standards. Ladies, there will be different ways that society, men and even women will try to shame you and guilt you into accepting what you should not accept, staying in relationships you should not stay in, or just suffering silently. Don't let them. I'm telling you, don't. Break free of these emotions. So when next you are faced with an unhappy relationship or an unhappy situation and you examine it, you sort of do a bit of soul searching. And in doing that, you find out that you know the decision to make, but fear, shame, or guilt is holding you back. I want you to do this. I want you to pray to God for the courage to do what is good for you. And I want you to hold on to this Bible verse. It says, the blessings of the Lord make it rich and add it no sorrow. That is how I have always known if a man is meant for me or not. If he is in my life and I am sorrowful, he cannot be the blessings of the Lord. Because any man who comes into my life, comes into your life, should be a personified blessing of God. And the last but not the least trait that will help you not lose out in a relationship is for you to master the art of mirroring. Ladies, men can take, or most men can take what they dish out. They just can't. And that is why a man would do something and do it over and over and over. And the moment a woman does the same thing, it's like the house wants to catch on fire because he cannot handle it. She's so ridiculous to me. And this is where the art of mirroring comes in. There's only so much talking you can do. There's only so much nagging and complaining that you can do. And if you are tired of nagging, complaining, and talking, then the next weapon in your arsenal is for you to mirror him. And to actually make this point to you, I'm going to share my personal story with you. So my first serious boyfriend at university was very controlling. Controlling to the extent that if he were to call me now, and I'm here right now filming, and I pick one and say, oh babe, I'm filming, I'll call you back. And let's say something happens, for whatever reason, I have to go out to maybe the next apartment to do something, or maybe I had to walk down to the supermarket to buy something, and he calls me and I'm not home, I'm there. He would be so furious that when he called me 10 minutes ago, I did not tell him that I was going to go down the street. He treated our relationship like I should know every step I'm taking, like I could never be spontaneous. One incident that really sticks to my mind is when my roommate wanted to go get her hair done, and it was 7 p.m. and he called me. He was like, where are you? I said, oh, I'm at the salon with my friend, she's getting her hair done. He's like, you need to go back to the house. What are you doing outside by 7 p.m.? Go back to the house. I kept complaining. I kept telling him, what are you doing? It's hurting me. It's painful. This is frustrating. Oh my goodness. There was nothing I did not say to this man. Ladies, when I share relationship advice with you and I try to empower you and build you, it is because I have seen things. As my friend used to say, in this relationship business, my eyes have seen my ears without a mirror. So anyways, this continued for a while. I was always unhappy, frustrated, terrified of doing anything because I didn't know if that would trigger him. And my friend, she said to me, anyway, there's this thing I read about called mirroring. It was from how I learned it. So I'm teaching you now. There's this thing I read about called mirroring, where you should do to people what they're doing to you, because a lot of times when you complain, they don't really understand how much they're hurting you, because words are words, while actions can be truly painful, right? So she said, you are using words to fight somebody's actions, and that will not work. You need to use action to fight action. I said, really? She said, yes. I said, okay, let's put it to the test. Let's give it a try. So I started doing the same thing he was doing to me. I would call him, you will see he's in the office, he's in a meeting, he will call me in an hour. 30 minutes after I will call him. I don't understand. Has the meeting not ended? And I did this thing to him. Smother him with that control. I would call him sometimes in the night around 8 or 9. He would say he's out with his friends. I would get so angry, like, how can you be outside at this time of the night? Ladies, that relationship ended within a week. I am not kidding. He couldn't take what he was dishing out. And that is men for you. Most men don't know how to take what they give. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who has had this experience. If you've had this experience, share it with me in the comments, okay? No way I am the only person who has noticed this about men. They cannot take it. So you need to master the art of mirroring. He leans back, stops calling, stops communicating. Instead of you rushing to fill that space, to call him 20 times to make up for that gap he has created, you also lean back. He does something hurtful to you. You tell him, babe, this thing you're doing is painful. He does it again and again. You do it back. That is the way most men learn. A lot of men don't understand words. They understand consequences. And that is why if you let a man get away with something and he realizes that he got away with that thing, there was no consequence, oh my goodness, you have created a different type of monster. So if you know you don't want to lose in relationships, you need to master the art of mirroring so that you show him how his actions are affecting you. You can agree that most men rather think they have monopoly on hurting people, on being selfish, on doing whatever it is they want to do, and damn the consequences. I'm sure you can agree to that. That is why mirroring is so amazing. In mirroring him, I got rid of a controlling man. I did not lose in that relationship. I've used it a few times, and I tell you, it always gets the job done. Always gets the job done. Learn how to mirror a man. And that's it for today's video, ladies. My goodness. I hope you enjoyed the video. You learned something. You had an aha moment. You know, like, that makes sense, okay? I hope you had a lot of those moments. I also hope that you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you have shared it with somebody, or you are going to share it with somebody. As always, ladies, be kind to yourself. Bye.